So, question of the day. Is manual transmissions cars overrated? Today, we're going to talk about is this guy right here overrated, man. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on the internet saying this is going to be a dinosaur pretty soon. But I want to talk about, is this really overrated, or do it still have its place in the car community? So here we are. We all have officially made it to 2025. Getting closer and closer to the year where people are no longer wanting manuals. And that's the whole point of this video. Like, are manuals overrated in today's time? Is this going to be a dying breed? Or will car manufacturers start to bring the manual transmission back, but only have it in limited numbers? This is my first manual car that I went out on my own and purchased myself. Never thought I'd be able to have a manual or drive a manual, but here we are. My first performance car, sports car, whatever you want to classify the Camaro, was in an automatic, 8-speed automatic transmission. That was the first one I wanted. That's the first one I got because, one, I got a good deal on it. Two, I just wanted something that looked sporty and fast and something I was able to drive. And that was the one I got. Now, in the UK, people, they drive manuals, especially in a performance car. Even pickup trucks and everything over there, if I'm not mistaken, it's most likely in a manual. Here in the US, manuals used to be the thing, I would say, in like the 90s. I would say mid 2000s, but it's early 2000s, but it's starting to die off like dramatically. And here we are in 2025, and there's only a few handful of cars that is offered in the manual. Now that goes to show you, like, is the Western civilization, people in the United States, are we becoming more lazy? Are we becoming people that just don't care about driving no more? Is the car enthusiast culture dying? Like, like if you sit back and think about it, like, it doesn't take for you to have a manual transmission to be a car enthusiast, but it also sit back to think about the trend. Like, where are we heading as a car community? You know, is the car community is slowly dying, the car culture is slowly dying, especially as we enter 2025. The manual transmission is dying. Automatic vehicles are picking up, but also at the same time, was devil advocate to the automatic vehicles is the EVs. As soon, we're going to get to a point where automatics is not going to be the thing, and the EV cars are going to pretty much drive themselves. You just tell it where you want it to go. And look at that, we have a Tesla right here, as I'm just mentioning it. That is one of the biggest electric manufacturers in today's time. So it makes you sit back and wonder, like, will the manual transmission be missed? Me personally, I feel like I feel bad that I joined the bandwagon too late of having a manual transmission, and that is just due to the fact that I actually enjoy driving. It actually gave me a new aspect of driving that I never had before, which goes into the fact that switching gears. When I first got my first Camaro, I never knew about, road coursing, drag strips, things of that nature. It was pretty much like, I hear people like street racing and stuff like that. That was the thing. But I never heard about people actually going to the drag strip, actually going to, to the road course. And then once I joined my Camaro club back in Michigan, they opened my mind to a whole lot of things. I actually use my car a lot more than just driving on the road and just looking good with the sunroof open and stuff like that. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it just opened my mind up just learning how the car performed. And that's when I actually learned how to be a better driver overall. So, you know, the automatic was fun. It was great. I felt like I was kind of getting bored with it over time because I would have kept just throwing horsepower at the car. When I did that, you know, I actually blew my transmission, as you guys know. If you haven't seen that video, go check out my older videos. That wasn't on this particular car. That was on my older car, my 16 2SS. So, but this one, that car actually left a sour taste in my mouth. And here we are where now I'm in the manual transmission. And the reason why I decided to get a manual transmission, because during the time and still, I track this car. Like, when every chance I can get. Like, and this right here, what changed my dynamic of driving. I cannot make this up saying that, man, it feels good to roll the gears. Usually I'm just step my foot on the gas, the car go into competitive mode, and I let the car do the work for me. This right here actually changed a whole lot for me. And then I start looking at different things that I can do. For example, people that do hill climbs, that's a new thing that I learned, that take their cars up the hills or whatever. A lot of them people prefer the manual transmission. When people do Pikes Peak, which is a popular thing with Hoonigan, they used to do over there, a lot of them guys had like a manual transmission. Even if I wanted to drift the car, you know, a manual transmission. The automatic is fun. And I feel like we're in a day and age where everybody want to go fast, and there's nothing wrong with that. People like looking at the statistics of what's your 0 to 60 times, what's your 60 to 130 times, what does it do in a quarter mile. But no one don't really just think about the joy of actually driving anymore. Everybody want a fast car, but don't nobody want to learn the skill of driving. Like this car, having an automatic version and then having a manual version is like two different worlds. Like one thing I learned about this car is like the minimum speed and between each gear. Not too people don't even know the minimum speed. Not saying it like doesn't matter, but it just minimum speed changes when you're on the incline and stuff like that. But just when you go to like riding through the city, it's just amazing how you get to learn the car in so many different ways. And it's just me thinking about it like, man, is the automatic still, or is the manual still overrated, or is it underrated and the automatics are overrated? You know, so y'all drop a comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this topic, because for me, I get both ends of the spectrum. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I feel like it serves its purpose. And one con I would say with having a manual is that remote start. Here is not that big of a deal, 4 degrees, but there are people who daily drive their cars, and if you have a manual, it sucks to go out there in 0 degree weather or cold weather to start the car up and then let it warm up, versus if you had an automatic, you know, you can just start the car inside. By the time you get to the car, it's warm and so forth. But I also get the convenience of having another convenience I can see that you can have an automatic, and that is due to people who have disabilities. And I'm not going to discredit no one who has like disabilities or anything like that, but you know, people who've been in like war, or people just cannot drive anymore, like using their left leg for any reason. And I feel like that is where the automatic comes in, and for that, it's great. That's not saying you're not a car enthusiast or anything. It just let me know that, hey, this is oh look, I'm gonna let this car go. Having fun, I see. But yeah, that just goes to show, like, there are pros and cons of having each vehicle. There's pros and cons to having a manual transmission, and that's where I'm getting at. So I get it, and I'm glad car manufacturers make both. But you know, living in the times now is that, hey, like, yeah, are we going to really miss the manual transmission? Are people really going to care about the 60 to 130 times anymore? Are we going to live into that point where we seeing who get the fastest drag times? Or is the car community is pretty much going to die as a whole, and that's including with the manual transmission, because the whole car community is going to take a hit soon, especially when EVs start taking over. And yes, manual transmission can be considered a niche market. Automatics is pretty much everywhere, so it's not really a niche market. But the EVs are considered a niche market, and they can fit a line of people where they don't care about the sound of the car. They don't care about dealing with oil changes, and they don't care about dealing with, oh man, the coolant that went out and so forth. They just want a car to take them from point A to point B and don't have to worry about nothing but simple things, just the brakes. So that is my version of the video. Like, is manuals overrated? I don't think so. Are they underrated? I believe so. But we live in times that, you know, the automatics can get better gas mileage and all of that stuff, but doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna leave that for you guys. So like that, man, if you guys enjoyed this video, y'all know what to do. Drop a comment below. Let y'all enjoy this corner with me. Love going in these corners. Yes, but y'all know what to do. Drop a comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this topic. And like that, I see you in the next video. Because as of now, dropping the gear in the corner is so much fun.